언제부터였을까?
When doctor came outside the operation theatre, you all rushed towards him. Whined. Doctor, how is he? Doctor, he is very injured, but he is fine and safe. You took a deep breath and got little relieved. Mrs. John, can we meet him? Is he awake? Doctor, wait for some time and afterwards you can meet him. As the day turned to evening, you sat outside the hospital room anxiously waiting for him to wake up. The weight of uncertainty pressed upon you and the minutes felt like hours. The beeping of the machines echoed in the room, a constant reminder of fragile of life. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the doctor gave you permission to enter in his room. Your heart pounded in your chest as you stepped inside. The sight that greeted you sent a torrent of emotion surging through you. There lay Jungkook, his body covered in bandages, a testimony to the severity of the accident. He appeared vulnerable, far from the strong and confident man you were used to seeing. Tears welled up in your eyes as your emotions overflowed. Your voice choked with emotions, and a single tear escaped from your eyes and slid down your cheeks. Jungkook, despite his injuries, managed to muster a warm smile as he looked at you. His innocence and the strength he showed in that moment melted your heart, and you quickly wiped away your tear, not wanting to burden him further. You went towards him silently, your both eyes looked into his. You both were silent for a while. You were struggling to utter any word when Mrs. John and Mr. John also entered. They both looked at Jungkook when Mrs. John started crying. Mrs. John, Jungkook, my son. She came near him and started crying when Jungkook slowly wiped her tears. Jungkook weakly, yeah, Mom, why are you crying? I am perfectly fine. You should be happy. Mrs. John nodded. Mr. John, I told her that you are strong and you will be fine. But you know your mom. She don't listen to me. Jungkook smiled. Mrs. John, how are you? How this accident happened? Jungkook, I am fine, Mom. Actually, I don't know how it happened. I was driving when suddenly a truck came and clashed my car. Why am thinking? Truck? I am sure that it is an attempt to murder. It is that unknown person, no doubt. Mr. John. Oh, Mrs. John. Oh, my son got so injured. Mr. John. Jungkook, I talked to doctor and he said that tomorrow you will get discharged. But you have to take proper rest, so for some days you will not go to office. Jungkook nodded. Mr. John. Wine, will you stay here? I mean, your mom didn't eat anything and she didn't eat her medicine of blood pressure. So I thought that me and your mom should go home and wine. Yeah, no problem. I am here. You guys go. Mrs. John. We will come at night. Wine. No problem, Mom. I am here. I will stay here. You go and take rest. They nodded and left the hospital when Jungkook smirked at you. Jungkook. You cried, Miss Icy? You looked at him. Wine. Me? Why? Why should I cry? Jungkook smirking. Don't lie, sweetheart. I know you must be worried for me. And when you entered in the room, your face was all red like you cried so much. Wine. Why should I cry for you, Mr. Jungle Book? You are not so special for me that I will cry for you. Jungkook serious. Seriously? I'm not special? Wine. No, you are not. Now just shut your mouth and take rest. Jungkook. I am resting already. Wine. Then give your tongue some rest. He chuckled. When he closed his eyes and pretended to sleep, Jungkook in his mind. Am I really not special for her? But she was worried for me. I noticed that she got emotional when she saw me in this condition. He sighed. Jungkook thinking. Sometimes I feel that she loves me. Sometimes I feel that she don't. What a complex mystery. When you got a call from your detective and you quickly picked it up and went outside the room. Wine on call. Hello, detective. Hello, ma'am. I got to know that who is that unknown person. Wine. Yeah, really? Tell me who is that? Detective. I have sent you his details and his name is Mark. You were shocked and little confused. Wine. Okay, you cut the call and checked the phone and confirmed that is he the same Mark? You were little shocked. Wine in mind. How can he do that? But he can do anything. He dared to kill Jungkook and interfere in my life? Mark, you have to regret for your mistake. When inside, Jungkook was thinking, Jungkook, why she went outside to pick the call? She can talk here. But maybe she thought that I will get disturbed. When you entered inside, Jungkook was laying on the bed and you laid on the couch and quickly slept as you were so tired. Your phone was placed near Jungkook's bed when a message popped on your phone screen, but you were sleeping so you didn't notice. When again the notification sounds were beeping. When Jungkook took the phone and was about to give you when he noticed the text message from that unknown number. Unknown numbers text. Hello, baby girl. Why are you ignoring my text, sweetheart? When Jungkook saw the text notifications on the screen, he got shocked, confused, and little triggered and hurt. Jungkook in mind. Who is this? Why is he texting Wine? And why is he saying her baby girl and sweetheart? What is all this? He was looking at the phone and then at you, who was peacefully sleeping. Jungkook in mind. What is all this? Is she in relationship with someone? Or she loved that person but she forcefully married me? Maybe that's why she said that I am not special to her. No, Jungkook. It can't be possible. She can never betray me. What is happening? I don't know. What should I do? Am I the one who came in between them? He was thinking all this and slept. Next day, they took discharge and went back home, and when you both entered inside, Grandmom came towards Jungkook and got emotional by seeing his condition. She cupped his face gently. Grandmom, Jungkook, how are you? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. She started crying while cupping his face when Jungkook quickly cupped her face and wiped her tears. Jungkook, Grandma, why are you crying? And please don't say sorry to me. Don't cry. Please. Otherwise I will also start crying. Grandmom, why will you cry, huh? I am really bad. I shouted on my little Jungkook and told you not to show me your face. That's why maybe this happened. Jungkook, why are you thinking all this? See, I am fine now. And yeah, I am not a little kid anymore. Why you always call me little Jungkook? See my height. I am bigger than you in it. Grandmom chuckled and Jungkook also smiled. Grandmom, yeah, my grandson had grown up now and he is married. She smiled when Jungkook looked at you. Mrs. John, Wine, take him to your room. Now he should take rest. You nodded. Mr. John, and Jungkook, your food will be sent in your room, so you just take rest. Jungkook, but I am not hungry. I will eat afterwards. You both went inside the room. You helped him to lay on the bed. Jungkook, why you laid me here? I mean, I sleep on the couch, right? Wine, yeah, actually, I decided that you can sleep here and I will sleep on the couch. Jungkook confused. Why? Wine, because you are injured, so bed would be more comfortable for you. Jungkook, then you will not sleep here? Wine, no, I mean I will sleep on the bed when you will get properly well. Jungkook teasing, no, but I am going to sleep here always. Wine, why? I will sleep here and that is my commitment. Wine loudly. Me, Kim Wine decides to sleep on the bed after he gets well. Jungkook chuckled. Jungkook, John Wine. You looked at him. Wine, yeah, whatever. Jungkook, alright then. Me, John Jungkook announced that I will always sleep on the bed. You both looked at each other teasingly competently. Wine. Alright, let's see who will fulfill the commitment. Jungkook. Yeah, it's obviously me. But no problem, we will see. Wine. Yeah, whatever. When your phone rang and you quickly picked it up. Wine on call. Yeah, why were you not picking my calls? Secretary. I'm sorry, ma'am, I left my phone in my room. Wine. Alright, now check the messages I have sent you. I have sent all the informations about person and I texted you everything, so find out everything, whatever I have asked. Secretary. Okay ma'am, I will see and send you all the details. You cut the call and looked at Jungkook, who was looking at you with serious expressions. Wine. Who died? Jungkook confused. Huh? Wine. Why are you looking like this at me with grave expressions? Jungkook. Nothing. Who was on the call? Wine. Why should I tell you? Jungkook. Because I'm your husband. Wine teasing. So Mr. Husband, don't interfere in my life. It's none of your business. When you went downstairs, Jungkook in mind. Who was on the call? Why am I thinking all this? Wine, do you seriously love someone else? If yes, then please tell me. But I don't know why my heart is not ready to accept that. Yeah, why is this happening? I guess she is not telling me because she thinks that I will get hurt. He sighed. Jungkook thinking. Wine, if you're not happy with me, then you can leave. I mean, I will be happy to see you happy with, even if you are happy with someone else, I will be fine. He went silent for a while. Jungkook in mind. Seriously? Will I be fine? Can I let her go with some other man? Do I have guts to do so? He frustratedly pulled his hairs. Jungkook. Yeah, I don't know. I am now feeling suffocated and frustrated. Alright, I will behave cold towards her so that she can hate me and leave me and live happily with her lover. At least I can try. But why this plan feels so childish? When you entered in the room with a plate of food. Wine. Eat it, Mr. Husband. Jungkook coldly. I am not hungry. Wine. I didn't ask you that are you hungry or not. I said eat it. You have to take medicine, so please. Jungkook loudly. I said nah, I'm not hungry. Why are you forcing me, huh? Wine confused. Yeah, what happened? Did you eat any wrong medicine? Jungkook sighed. Jungkook. Wine, what are you doing? I'm not hungry and why are you being so caring towards me, huh? Wine. His head really got injured. Coconut head. Jungkook. What are you saying? I asked you something. Wine. Are you mad? You are injured and if I am telling you to take medicine then you are behaving rude. What happened to you? Jungkook. Wine, leave me alone. Wine in disbelief. Jungkook. Jungkook. Please leave Wine. Wine. But at least eat food and have medicine. Then I will leave. Jungkook shouted. I said leave. You flinched when the food plate slipped from your hand and fall down. You looked at him in disbelief and silently left the room. Mrs. and Mr. John heard Jungkook shout. Mr. John. Why is he shouting? Mrs. John. At whom is he shouting? When they saw you coming downstairs with disappointing face and you went to office. Mrs. John. Did they fight? Mr. John. How can this be possible? I mean, Jungkook never shout like this. Mrs. John. Something is wrong. He can't shout at Wine like this. Let me see. In your room. Jungkook thinking. I think I shouted a lot. She was taking care of me and see what I did. I should not be like this much angry on her. Yeah, I'm not feeling good. My acting really got worse. I really overreacted and did overacting. Yeah, Jungkook, why you do such things for which you have to regret later? Mrs. John went inside his room and got shocked by seeing the food plate falling on the ground. Mrs. John. Jungkook, what is all this? Jungkook looked at her. Jungkook. Mom? She came towards him and sat down near him on the bed. Mrs. John, what happened? Jungkook, nothing, Mom. Mrs. John, Jungkook, you can share with me. I will help you. Jungkook, Mom, seriously, nothing happened. It just plate slipped from her hand. Mrs. John, Jungkook, I am your mom. I can understand that when are you saying the truth and when you are lying. So tell me, I will try to understand you. Jungkook looked at her when his eyes filled with tears and hugged her tightly. Jungkook, I don't know, Mom. I don't know what's happening. I'm really confused about everything. Mrs. John patted his back and hugged him. Mrs. John, calm down, Jungkook. Stop crying first and then tell me. Jungkook explained everything about the text and how you had told him that he is not special to you. Though it was said teasingly, he took it seriously. He described how you both don't share the same bed, your relationship is not like that of normal couple, and he feels that whenever he tries to come close or put efforts into your relationship, he believes that you neglect everything and that you are still not comfortable or happy with him. Mrs. John tried to understand the situation and looked at Jungkook, who was still sobbing. Mrs. John, Jungkook looking down continued to sob. Mrs. John gently coaxed him to look at her. Mrs. John, Jungkook, look at me. Jungkook lifted his head and met her gaze, his eyes filled with emotions. Mrs. John, Jungkook, I think it's just a misunderstanding. It's all due to lack of communication. Jungkook looked at her intently. Mrs. John, Jungkook, firstly, it's really childish decision to behave rudely with her so that she might leave you and be with someone else. I don't know what's on her mind, but I can assure you that she loves you. I saw that love and pain in her eyes for you. Her words offered comfort and understanding, reassuring Jungkook that your feelings for him were genuine and that there was a path to resolution through open communication. Mrs. John, Jungkook, I have seen her being worried for you. I have witnessed the pain in her eyes. You might have been unconscious, but she was the one who was fervently praying for you. With each passing minute, her love was emanating through her prayers. Your wife, while she might have her own ways of expressing her emotions, but believe me, her love for you is undeniable. Her compassionate words aimed to emphasize the depth of your feelings and reassured Jungkook that the love you held for him was authentic, even if it wasn't always overtly expressed. Mrs. John, and regarding the text, there is a possibility that it could have been spam or some other misunderstanding. If she were in a different relationship, it's likely that she would have saved that contact, but she didn't. It's also possible that the text didn't hold much significance for her. As for not sharing the same bed, perhaps she needs time and space to adjust. You must try to understand things from her perspective. Jungkook, her words encouraged Jungkook to consider alternative explanation and give you the benefit of the doubt, rather than letting insecurities cloud his judgment. Jungkook was looking at Mrs. John and understanding. Mrs. John, and today she was just taking care of you and you shouted at her. She must be hurt. You are just saying that she didn't love for you, but don't close your eyes when she cares for you. You know, when we reached hospital, she was just sitting in the corner outside your room, crying and sobbing badly. Her face was all red. By seeing her condition, I really got more emotional and worried. And when we left the hospital, she was the one sitting beside you and taking your care. Even when your parents were not with you, she was there for you. Mrs. John, and today I told her to eat something and she told that she will also eat in the bedroom with you to give you company. She didn't eat from yesterday. She was taking care of you and your medicines and neglecting her health. And seriously, after knowing all this, do you really think that she don't care for you or love you? Jungkook's eyes again filled with tears and now he was feeling guilty. He was realizing his mistake that he is really misunderstanding everything. He was regretting so much. Mrs. John, maybe she didn't realize her love for you, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't love you. And you both have to solve everything slowly, and I know everything would be fine. Jungkook, realizing his mistake, was overwhelmed with guilt and heartache. He felt deeply hurt for shouting at you and for misunderstanding your feelings. He knew he needed to take things right and mend the emotional wounds he had unintentionally caused. Will your and Jungkook's love story be completed? How you know Mark? To get all your answers, wait for part 5. Subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. Please press the bell icon to stay updated.